Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of The Hustle Interview. Today, we have something very, very special for you. In fact, two things are happening on this channel for the first time. One, we have the first female creative on the show. And second, we have a very peculiar niche in filmmaking that we're going to be discussing about today. And, let me just stop talking and just show you who we're going to be talking with today. Today, we're going to be talking with the Chief Creative Director at Pen Shy Motions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the first lady of the show. It was not easy to get her attention, but we just go straight to the point. Just tell us who you are, and what you do, real quick.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jennifer Obiwewi, and I am the chief, the big cheese, in charge of Pen Shy Motions, which is a stop motion creation brand in Lagos, Nigeria.
That brings us to our very next question, which is, why? Why stop motion?
I mean, I've always been interested in animation. Any form of animation. Like my parents would tell me, like when I was little, to get me to do my assignments was always difficult because I was like in front of the TV watching Samurai X and all sorts of animations. So I've always been interested in that. And so when I kind of discovered it, which is a long story in itself, but when I eventually discovered that there was something like stop motion, I was like, all right, let me try this out, let me see. And I needed like some kind of creative outlet apart from like writing. So when I tried my hand at it, I was like, oh, this is nice. I'm like, all right, this is something I can just do. And eventually I found out that people are actually using it to make money. I say, okay, it's like, I would just, see what's in this. And so I just started dabbling here and there, and one thing led to another. And
then now you're here.
And now
You said you started as a writer, so that means you were already in the creative space before, way before now.
I mean, I started my first official job was, well, not official, NYSC, was with a small creative agency called Urban Base Media. So they run Allen, so that was where I did my service here. Then I started That's
in Lagos?
Yes, in Lagos. So I started, honing my writing skills, and then I got a job with Bella Nigeria, which I was with for 3 years. And
as a copywriter?
No, not copywriter. So Bella Nigeria is just like entertainment, beauty stuff, fashion. And so I started writing there, and the great thing about working there is it gives you the opportunity to kind of, have like sparks of, creative outlets here and there, apart from like the regular 9-to-5 stuff. So like my hands got really strong when it came to like writing and expressing myself. I mean, like I wrote stuff for CNN and different things. So I was, like really trying. Says hey. So I started like, just branching out bit by bit, and I knew I enjoyed it. And even when I left, people would call me and be like, oh, I need you to rewrite our press release. And I'm like, I'm no longer there. Well, let me give you the number. And I, no, just rewrite it for us. We'll pay you, and then we can send it to them. Since you already know the style and what they'd like to. So yeah, that was typically how my writing, skills started to kind of develop. Okay,
so although you said it was a long story, right? But just give us, so like when did you now move from that writing into stop motion, especially in Nigeria? Because were you not afraid?
I started getting scared when a rate card was attached to it.
Mad. Okay.
So when it was just for fun, it was like, okay, if you like it's fine. If you don't like it's fine, what's my own? So it's a long story, but it's not that long. It's just like the connection is really weird because it happened in my head. So when Will Smith first joined Instagram, his content was like fire, still is. So amazing creative stuff. I would like sit on my phone, I would be going through his page, like, oh my God, this, oh my God, that. So like the hyperlapse videos and all of that. So I started following the people that create his content. And then I realized that his wife was on Instagram. So I started following her page. And then she started doing creative stuff like that on her page. There's one in particular, I think the person that created the video is called Leah Motion, L-E-A Motion.
Leah
so I saw the video she made for Jada where you can see like multiples of her, like cutouts of her in the same frame, and she's moving and walking into them. And I'm like, what did you do here? So I don't know why, but I was like a dog looking for a bone. I wanted to find out how she made it. I searched. There's nothing I did not Google. Jada Pinkett's stop motion video. Let Jada Pinkett's multiple videos. Jada Pinkett walking into herself. Jada Pinkett's viral video. And nothing was coming up. It took for me to go to YouTube and on like the You know how on Google you have like third, fourth, fifth Google page that nobody visits? I got to like the fifth page of YouTube. And then I saw this Indian guy who used what's the name of this? KineMaster.
Okay.
Yeah, he used that to make the same kind of video she did. So I downloaded KineMaster and I did the video. When I put it on my page, like I got so many DMs. How did you do this? How did you do this? How did you? I'm like, okay, my hand is strong. When I started, when my first client asked me, what's your rate card? That was when the fear set in. I'm like, why do you want to waste your money? Why did you just make that much money just want to throw it away? So that was when fear kind of came in, and there weren't a lot of people that there was like literally nobody that I saw doing stop motion. It was as I started doing stop motion that, people like Masbury and the rest are popping up, and I'm like, okay, I really like this content, I like that content. So people do it like on a smaller scale, but not like big. I mean, there are stop motion movies that have won Oscars, and
wow,
like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Kubo and the Two Strings. Those are stop motion movies that are on a massive scale. So I want to get there. I'm like, I can make a freaking stop motion movie. So I'm like, okay, start small. Brands need this, obviously. But then I read that's
oh, nice. But there's something I want to know. Yeah, when you got to see that video first, it was just attraction, right?
Yeah.
That was not the first content you're watching.
No, it's
right.
Not. It's
so
not.
that particular one was the one that caught your attention.
That was the one that kind of.
What made you continue? Like continue to make stop motion?
Okay. After I had tried my hand at that one, I started to kind of see other content. So I wanted to. I don't know why. I can't tell you why exactly, but I wanted to see the people that Leah Motion looked up to.
Okay.
So I started looking at it. So maybe she would make a video and she'd be like, oh, inspired by. So I started seeing like other, and I'm like, oh, this is a whole other, part to Instagram. It's like how people that don't watch soccer, and all of a sudden your feed changes and you're seeing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is a whole other community. And I just started like seeing different post pages, and eventually I got to the hashtag stop motion community.
Okay.
And when I got there was one video in particular that I saw by Coco Perry. Okay. And when I saw her video, I'm like, oh, this is so nice. And she's like, oh, it's for a client. And so I'm like, oh, so people actually do this for. I'm like, okay, I've seen this. And eventually I started making like little videos here and there. Like my sister and I were talking about this the other day, and she was like, I was there when you started this thing. I'm like, you were there. Like it was with Capri Sun and slices of oranges and just making the oranges go into the Capri Sun and then turn, and I put it on my page, which took me forever because I was like, hey, what if it's nonsense? People are like, hey, what's the meaning of this? Because I have friends that will actually tell you that like, auntie, what's going on here? But people were like, oh, that's so creative, that's so creative. And it was because of videos like that my first clients actually reached out to me.
Oh, your client reached out to you
first? Yes. Someone that I had met her a couple of times, and she sent me a DM. She's like, oh, hi Jennifer, I see you do stop motion videos. I want to do one, but the last one someone did for me was really bad and I don't like it. I couldn't even use it, but I would like to, do a video for it. So in my mind, I was like, free products to do stop motion with. Oh, nice. Let me even see what that's like. And then she asked me for a rate card, and I'm like, rate card? I said, rate card. When I showed her my search, she was like, do you have a? I said, like, I have like just stuff that I've saved. She's like, better pull it together. And then I came up with a rate card. Even when I charged her, if you remember, and I'm like, yeah, she's not paying that. But she paid. I'm like, I said, so I have to make this thing. I said, oh, so I really have to do this. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm coming to Lagos. We can have a meeting. And then I came to Lag and we had a meeting.
Well, that time you were not in Lagos?
No, I was in Abuja.
So the next question I want to ask you is, when did you start stop motion? Then, when did it switch to a business?
It started, I believe it was November of 2019. Yeah. So that wasn't that long ago. So as a hobby, 2019. In 2020, I believe that was February. That was when I did like my first official job, which was what I was paid for. So that was when I started to view stop motion as, okay, this is an actual business that I can grow and build on. So that's when it officially kicked off, as when I was like, okay, people can pay for it, and other people were like making inquiries. So I was like, okay.
So that's 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
And so which means you were just pumping out content and those 3
I
months.
was literally just trying out different things. You know how it is when sometimes when you just start something new, you're like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that. So that was how it was. But then because this is something that I genuinely am interested in and I like, I really wanted to. And I knew there was more to it. There is a whole lot more that I still don't know how to do.
Yeah.
But knowing that, okay, there's still more in front, but then you're enjoying the process.
Yeah.
So that was why I was able to at least get to a point where somebody would be comfortable paying me for a job.
For a job. And that's a segue to the next question, because before I was coming here, I was looking through your Instagram and then I saw the picture. You guys are seeing the picture right now of how you started.
Yeah.
That phone picture of you.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you were with at the time.
I was like with cardboard on the floor and my friend.
So was that like the first? Those were the first, and that was the phone. Yeah. You were not using a camera at the time.
No, that wasn't even my phone.
Mad.
So I think I had an iPhone 8 at the time. So that was what I was prepared to use. I was like, I'll use this thing to shoot, you know. I had access to a camera because I have an Egbo who has a studio. So I told him that I was in Lagos. I said, hey, call me, you can use whatever. I'm like, I don't even know how to use camera like that. So what am I even doing? So I like, you know what, let me just do my best and just try. So when I started shooting, quality was terrible. So my friend, he used to actually live with me. His name is Gabriel. Gabriel was like, okay, do you know what, Jennifer? Use my phone. He had an iPhone 10.
Okay.
I believe it was an iPhone 10. He said, okay, use my phone.
Your phone.
Sandaka, yeah, what do I need? So I told him what I needed. He downloaded and hooked up everything. I had one raggedy laptop like that. I was like, okay, let's just rough this thing, and then we put it together. I'm sure my first client looking at me like, so this is what you want. So I hooked it up, everything, and he helped me. So he was the one even taking the photo of the behind the scenes. So he helped me set everything up, and yeah, that's how.
But that one was not a client job. Was that a client job? Jesus. That's been exposed.
I'm sorry. But yeah, it was a client. I'm not even like scared to say it. Like,
no, of course, because
but that was, I mean, I help somebody there. Sometimes you have to just, knock things on the left side, right?
If you're just joining us, I am here sitting down with the Queen and CEO, Chief Creative Director, the Oga at the top at Penshai Motions. It's a stop motion production company in Nigeria that's located in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So now the next question I want to ask you is this: how tasking is stop motion on a scale of 1 to 10? First of all,
72.
Jesus.
It's very tasking. I mean, so stop motion, if you don't know what stop motion is, stop motion is literally taking a series of photos while manipulating the scene that you're taking to achieve a desired result. Now that is the best layman term or layman explanation I can give you. So stop motion is very tasking, and like there's so many parts that go into making sure you have a great stop motion video, from making sure your camera doesn't shake, to make sure your lighting is consistent, to making sure you have every scene like meticulously thought out, because even the slightest thing can ruin the entire video.
Wow.
So like I had a terrible experience recently. My laptop just decided to go on permanent sabbatical.
Wow.
It just went off, and I was working on like my BS client still dates. I was working on their project and the files. Yeah, just dissolved. It's a thin air. Yeah, it was really, I cried. I was like, so that's how my career just wants to end like that.
What?
So I was able to retrieve some files from my hard drive and everything, but a lot of it was like I had to reshoot a lot of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's very tasking, especially if you don't have a controlled set. So if you have a lot of people moving about. So that when I'm shooting, I pull around and I'm like, hey, everybody outside. And I look, I need to like make sure everything is controlled, just so that you don't have any problems that you have to then reshoot a whole scene. So yeah, it's very, very tasking. But if you really enjoy it, you would love every bit of the stress. Yeah.
Madu.
I know.
Because I saw, one of the work you did for Jobberman.
Yeah.
And then I saw that you had, you literally drew out each step of the man, like from raising his feet to the next step and all that. And you enjoyed that stress.
Yeah. for a typical walk cycle. So you can see how your feet kind of land, the curve of the foot, lifting over like that. So you have to know, okay, this is one walk cycle. So that's one person taking a step. So you're having to do that over and over and over again. And you can't loop it because it will look mechanical. Yeah. So you have to make sure you kind of make it's natural. So tracing each frame of your movements and making sure, I mean, you know what you want to achieve at the end of the day. I knew what I wanted to achieve at the end of the day, so I knew that I needed to do the work to get what, because if it's worse if you do some of the work and then you don't still get the results. So I'd rather do the work and get what I want at the end of the day. And the more complicated your concept, the more tasking it is. So you can do something very basic, like you have a box, it opens, products pop out of the box and they pop back in, box closes, end of scene. But then if you want like the box to open, box slides down, products pop up, products stand, product floats up, comes down, other one floats up, comes down, pops back into the box, box does. So it can be very, very crazy. So if you don't know what stop motion is, like layman explanation is taking a series of photos and putting them together while you're taking the series of photos and you're manipulating the scene so that it gives you a desired effect. So then you string those photos together and it becomes a video. So the magic in stop motion is in the manipulation of the scene. As you're maybe like moving different objects, when you string those photos together, it appears as if those objects are moving on their own. So like I said, it can be very tasking. I mean, my first major client was Bold. So they had a competition that they were running and they wanted a couple of stop motion videos for the campaign. And they insisted that a member of their team, their PR team, let's say, comes on the set. And he came on the set, and I was part like wary because I'm like, don't come and be telling me, But he came on the set, and I felt bad for him because we started shooting, I think around 10 in the morning. We didn't finish till 12 midnight.
12 midnight of the same day.
Of the same day.
12 midnight.
Yeah, 12 midnight of the same day. So I just kept on looking at him like, are you okay?
Now, how long was this video?
So there were different videos, that's the thing. So there were 4. So it was supposed to be 1 for photography, 1 for design, 1 for fashion, and 1 for it's like the beverage or something. I can't remember what the last one was. And so we're shooting for makeup, yeah. Okay. So it was the makeup one that really took a lot of time because of the concept we had settled on. But I wanted to had a very short time frame, and I wanted us to shoot everything, so we're done around midnight. So he even had to leave slightly because I'm like, go home, because this thing, something to press point, that's it. So we had to like shoot. We finished around midnight. Our model, we had to go and drop her off, and I didn't sleep. I knew I wasn't going to sleep, so I just knew that okay, you're awake. So I was there when we finished dropping everybody off. Then editing starts, which is a whole other ball game on its own. So it can be tasking, but the beautiful thing is when you enjoy what you do, you don't see it as work. But then
I begin to now wonder, do you need an artistic background to do stop motion?
Yeah, I've always been interested in drawing. I mean, I used to draw a lot when I was younger, like in secondary school. Like I would literally just take somebody's photo and they start tracing, and then eventually I would put the photo there and I would draw. So I've always been interested in drawing. I didn't take it up, as like a proper, career or a hobby, but I've always been interested in like artistic. I mean, I watch a lot of animation. If like Disney or Pixar to come to me, I'm gone. Like I'm out. I'm gone. So I've always been interested in stuff like that. So you do need to have some, but I mean, people learn to draw every day, so it's not
so if someone wants to come into stop motion now, for example, because normally if we're doing like traditional filmmaking, like it can be very capital intensive. You have to get a lot of stuff. So is that the same thing with stop motion? Like, is that how difficult it is to enter into the space?
It isn't difficult to enter into the space. It can be very easy for you to just think that, I need to have a camera, I need to have tripod, I need to have lighting, I need to have this. But you can start with like the bare minimum stuff. So there's this app called Life Labs, right?
Life Labs.
Life_labs. They are on Instagram and there's like a whole community. So that's how I started. So I downloaded Life Labs. I realized, and I think around then they were kind of just starting. They're just kicking off their
the app.
Yes,
Okay.
so they said like you've the testing stage, and it's like it was a one-man business, but now it's growing because even the owner of Life Labs is a very open person. Like, if you follow on Instagram, she'll tell you.
Oh, it's a lady too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like, oh guys, we're adding this new feature. Tell us how you feel about it. Tell us if you like it and stuff like that. So I downloaded Life Labs. I had my phone, and a very good friend of mine, Ayo, he helped me secure a phone, which was better than my iPhone 8.
Okay.
So he helped me with that, which I'm so grateful for.
Like, he bought it for you.
Yeah.
Hey,
so that was like his investment. That was his investment. I've had a lot of great investments from friends, like all around. They've just been amazing. Surround yourself with the right people. So, he did that. So I had a phone. I bought like this it's still upstairs, this rickety plastic tripod. That one that if you put your phone, it will tilt and you have to support it. So I had that tripod, and then I was using natural lights at first, but then that was my first major investment was ring lights. Okay. So I was like, I need to have good lights. So I bought ring lights. But ring lights is not even the best though, because it fluctuates. It's not a steady source of light. But there are people that shoot with natural lights. Yeah. There are people that prefer like steady studio lights. The lighting needs to be consistent if you're doing like really professional work. So those are the main things that I had. I had the rickety tripod. I had the iPhone. I would have used my iPhone 8 if I didn't get any other thing. And then I had my ring lights. And so once you have your idea, you just put together. And thankfully, Life Labs, it helps you edit, shows you how to edit. It's like a small academy on Life Labs that you can see, okay, this is how to do this, how to do that, or if I want this effect, what I do. So yeah, all of that. So it's not as capital intensive as you might think. I'm actually putting together a course.
A course?
Yeah. I put it together, but I want it to be very basic. So a lot of brands, because one of the main things that happens is brands reach out to me and say, oh, we want this video. When I tell them that kind of what the video costs, they're like, and they back down. So I'm like, it's not a difficult thing to achieve, especially for like brands that are just starting out and growing. And obviously you have to have killer content on social media. So I'm like, okay, let me put this course together. So you literally only need your phone, the Life Labs app, and then your tripod and your idea. So you put these things together and you can actually get these kinds of videos that you see all these mega brands using, and then you can recreate it for your own brand or do something else for your own brand that can give you almost like put your horse in the race.
But like what you just said, because you said something like about the clients, which makes a lot of sense, because in Nigeria, for example, I mean, apart from the very big brands that already have European influence, right? So they know about stop motion and all that and how useful it is. But when you're coming to Nigerian brands now, both the medium ones, the averagely large ones, small ones, do you have problems trying to make them understand why they need stop motion?
Yes.
So can you just tell us what you face?
So for example, there was a client who reached out to me. We ended up not working together, but I believe we're still going to. So she just called. She got my number from I can't remember where. We were chatting on Instagram. Okay. And then she asked for a contact detail. I gave her, a number to call. And so she called and she's like, oh, this video she wants. And she was more or less specific. A lot of people don't really have like an idea. So what is the kind of video I want? Okay. So she was kind of specific. So she kind of had an idea of what she wanted. And so I put together a concept and I did the video and everything was great. She paid, everything was done. And then she was like, oh, what do I use it for?
Mad.
When she asked me that question, that was where I sat back and I'm like, wow. I think people don't really know what to do with this. I gave you, how? I gave you the sorcerer's stone. Wow. And she's like, what do I use it for? Like, I'm not even sure what to do for. And most times people just put it on social media and that's the end of that. But I'm like, no. So that's another angle to it as well, being able to educate my clients and say, hey, like Asara put stop motion on their billboards. It can be on TV, it can be on a billboard, you can use it to introduce your products, you can use it to showcase how versatile your products can be, show them where to wear your hats to, show them how to pack a bag, use it as, an instruction, a manual. Stop motion is so flexible. So most times I find that I have to like do like a mini, like, you know, educate them on what it is and how, especially even when it comes to like rating. So like, oh, why is it so expensive? But then when they actually see the process, they're like, that's a lot of work. I'm like, I'm not even charging you what I'm supposed to be charging you. I'm just being nice. But yeah, so I find that I always have to tell them, okay, this is how it works. This is what you're trying to for. So when I talk to my clients the first thing I say is, what's your marketing aim? What are you trying to achieve? If you tell me, oh, I just want a fun video. Fun, okay, we'll give you fun. Oh, I have a lipstick line that I'm launching. I have 6 different types of lipstick or 6 different colors. Okay, the aim is to show people that I do the variety. Are you just coming to the market? Yes, okay, we're introducing your name, want them to know your name, know your branding logo, want them to know that you have this to offer. Okay, that's the aim. And that influences the concept, that influences how, you know, the rating is going to be and all of that. So, yeah.
Kemi Adetiba is your mentor, right? What makes you attracted to Kemi Adetiba? It was a little over 100K.
A little over 100K.
Your first ever client.
My first ever client. Piece of advice, whatever your client asks you for, make sure you're both on the same page before you execute.